How do I turn off the music? I don't know how to turn off the music. Hold on.
Maybe we shouldn't turn the music off.
It's so good.
We don't need the music. We don't like the musics.
I don't know. There we go. Oh, there's the pause button. All right. All right, we're live. You gotta move over there. You're like hogging the.
It's Patty Mo. Patty Mo is in the house for today's tomfooleries. You guys, what is the National Association of Evangelicals?
Yes.
Has created a racial justice tool.
And we're going to take it.
And I can't wait. And we'll see who gives our answers.
So I'm just going to put it on here real quick. Let's see here. Turn off the thumbnail. So I saw this morning and I thought, oh, this is interesting. So the headline, and let us know if you're watching. All right. Petty Mo takes the racial justice test. Maybe I should make that the title.
Don't play no game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rochelle says she wants to watch, but it's bedtime in South Africa.
Oh, good night.
How do you say good night in Afrikaans?
Lekker slaap.
There we go.
Or goeienaand.
All right. So we're going
Don't judge my accent.
We're going to read through this little article really quick, just the headline. I woke up to this in my inbox.
I'm not here for no articles.
I know. So I said I'm going to read the headline.
Patty Mo don't want to take no articles. She just wants to take the test. Let's go.
Okay. National Association of Evangelicals launches test to assess foster racial justice. We really didn't want to recreate the wheel.
You shouldn't have.
Said NAE's new racial justice and reconciliation expert. They're employing an expert now.
What's their name? I want to know.
And we wanted to bridge a gap that was existing. Okay, her name is.
Patty Mo want to know.
Her name is. There's a picture of her. Here she is.
Oh,
Mekdis Hadis. She's Ethiopian.
Mm-hmm.
So she was hired last year as the project director for the new Racial Justice and Reconciliation Collective. And this collaborative, thank you. And the NAE president is a gentleman named Walter Kim, and he's going to greet us in a video message.
Okay, we got to jump into this.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to take the test, and we're going to hear from the president of the National Association of Evangelicals, which is pretty influential. They shape a lot of public conversation for some people. Okay, are you ready for the little get to know you video?
If we gonna do it.
All right, I'm having some problems here. My mouse is sticking or something. All right, here we go. Here it is.
Now here we go. Once upon a time, not long ago, when people were
someone says social justice personality test.
Oh, hell no. That was Patty Mo. Don't judge me.
All right. Okay, here we go. So we're going to play a little bit of this video. I watched it earlier. It's only like a minute.
Okay.
He's going to greet us.
I'm here for it.
Welcome. And thank you for your interest in racial justice and reconciliation.
I ain't got no interest.
We share your desire to follow Jesus in this vital area. We at the NAE have developed this tool to help you explore opportunities for growth and to engage in topics that might challenge, encourage, and inspire you. The Bible teaches the essential dignity of all humans and our shared desire to live in community. Yet the reality of sin results in the denigration, alienation, and injustice that we see before us. We know this impacts our relationships, our communities, and even our institutions. But the good news of Jesus Christ brings reconciliation, not only between God and humanity, but also between groups of people.
Did you lose it?
Okay, I want to comment on that for a minute. I'm going to see the comments, see if people
are you still connected?
Yeah, I think so. So did you catch what he said there? That God not only reconciles us to him, but us to groups. And I thought, what an interesting way of saying it. I'm not sure that's true.
I want to know when God reconciled puppets. Puppet lives matter, boo.
What groups? Exactly, Maureen. What groups are we talking about? I don't know if we're reconciled to groups. It's kind of a little sleight of hand that he did there.
Yes, because truly, there were only two groups.
Yeah.
Those who are in Christ and those who are in Adam.
Oh, that's good.
So what groups are you being reconciled to? Your individual heart gets reconciled. And this is 2 Corinthians 5, which is often misused for the racial reconciliation narrative. But my sinful heart gets reconciled to a holy God, and then I get put in the family. And now that I'm put in the family, we all got the same last name.
Yeah.
And so
a little sleight of hand there.
It is. It's like
Yeah.
these games, these Petty Mo, I'm gonna let you speak.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna finish this out.
And we know from Revelation that God is forming
we're going to Revelation.
between groups of people. And we know from Revelation that God is forming a new humanity from every nation, tribe, people, and language. This is a beautiful and compelling vision. So what can we do?
So that's the total biblical setup for this whole thing.
So here's the thing. It's not a vision. People will, sorry, I have hair on my face. People put it forward like it is the vision that we must work toward and not the reality that it already is. And that Revelations 5 and Revelation 7 look at it shows the result. Like it shows what happened from the Great Commission. We've been diverse since Pentecost. And so it's not that we have to aspire to this vision set out in scripture. It's that this is the unveiling of what is the result of our evangelism. It's the result of Matthew 28:19. I was paying attention when you was talking back in 2017 or 18. Yeah. So, but people put it forward like you need to work toward this vision. The Bible sets out this beautiful vision. Christ accomplished that vision in Acts, and we continue to live in that because we are the body of Christ.
Yeah, I like how you say it, is that the racial reconciliation model says reconciliation is a goal to be achieved. It's unity is something to be achieved through reconciliation. Whereas our model, what we call the biblical unity model, is unity and family are our starting point, and our reconciliation, our primary reconciliation, is with God.
Yes. So the racial reconciliation, and just for clarity, we talk about two different models: racial reconciliation and biblical unity.
Yeah.
Racial reconciliation will say you must work to achieve reconciliation among people of different races. You must work to achieve unity, where we say unity is our starting point.
Yeah.
When I came into Christ and you came into Christ, we both got a new last name. We both became children of God. And well, honey, you cute, no, but I don't know if he reconciling puppets. We'll talk. So that becomes our starting point, and then we can look at Ephesians 4 and figure out, how do I walk this out?
Okay. All right. So let's take the test. You ready to take the test?
Do it.
Okay.
We still got to watch more videos.
Hold on. I didn't have it on.
To help identify where you might grow in your pursuit of racial justice.
No, I got to rewind it. Hold on.
Finish answering this short survey. It will prompt you with resources and next steps.
My connection is so bad.
That's all you need to do to get started. And we will be praying and cheering you on as God's Spirit guides you, so that together we as God's people might demonstrate the power of Christ to reconcile every nation, tribe, people, and language. This is a beautiful and compelling vision. So what can we do? To be faithful disciples, we must learn with humility, listen with empathy, act with righteousness, and above all, love our brothers and sisters who are experiencing injustice.
Stop.
This issue is really for all of us.
Okay, go.
Okay. So do you hear, and this is what we say when we say that racial reconciliation has a work, and it's works based, and that there are certain groups of people who do certain works. So we must listen, stand with our brothers and sisters who have experienced injustice. But do you see that embedded within that statement, and especially based on the cultural narrative, who are those who have experienced injustice? Well, if we're just talking racially, that's going to be Blacks and minorities. So how do we stand with white people? Like, or do we not even think that a white person, just because they have less melanin than I do, could experience injustice?
That does seem to be the presupposition.
Make it make sense. Now, because he hasn't clarified his terms, I have no idea if he is talking about those who have experienced injustice as also being inclusive of the sexual minority, so those along the LGBTQ plus spectrum. If I look into deeper, culture, children, like, who are you asking me to stand with? How are you defining the term injustice? We got to ask some more questions, because right now he ain't making that much sense. And the sense that he is making is more toward the person on the social justice side than the person who's deeply ingrained in historic Orthodox Christianity.
Okay, let's finish it out. Only a few seconds left.
Okay, because I can't take no more of this video. We just got to go.
So we invite you to take the assessment to help identify where you might grow in your pursuit of racial justice and reconciliation. When you finish answering this short survey, it will prompt you with resources and next steps. That's all you need to do to get started. And we will be praying and cheering you on as God's Spirit guides you, so that together we as God's people might demonstrate the power of Christ to reconcile all things. God bless.
Okay, we're going to take the assessment. You ready?
I'm ready. You got to take it first. I want to know if we're going to get different results.
Okay.
I'm a brown puppet.
I'm not sure puppets are a minority. Okay, we're going to read through the questions.
We are a minority.
Okay.
We're marginalized people, having me sit up on that stick. You know that stick be hurting my back.
All right, here's the first question. Building a true and biblical understanding of race is important to me. All right, so am I going to take it as I am?
Just take it for real, as who you are.
All right, so I'm going to say strongly agree. I co-founded a ministry related to race. Race is more a social reality than a definable physical reality. So I think this is asking me, do I believe race is a social construct?
Yes.
So I'm going to say yes.
That's a white answer. I'm going to tell you right now. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Racial hierarchy can give privileges to some groups that other groups of people may not have.
But what's the setup for that?
Yeah, there's so many assumptions embedded in this question.
And there's things that they left out.
Yeah.
Racial hierarchy can give privileges to some groups of people, but privilege is already associated with white people.
I know. Yeah.
So
how do I answer this?
Go ahead and answer it.
Because if I'm on the horns of a dilemma, because if I say disagree because I don't like how they've worded the question,
that's racist.
I'm gonna be a racist. I mean, I agree that it could be that way. I'll just put agree. Should I put agree? Should I put neutral?
When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing it will be.
Yeah, we won't have this foolishness anymore. What do you think? Agree.
Go ahead. I understand the historical injustices people of color have suffered in America and the effects on their opportunities today. Choose wisely.
Gosh. Well, there's so many factors here that we're not talking about. I mean,
honey, you thinking about this way too long.
I do understand historical injustices, but I'm more of a skeptic about their effects on opportunities.
Racist.
So I'm gonna click disagree. I'm not sure. The gospel teaches the essential dignity and quality of all humanity before God. I would say the doctrine of creation teaches that, not the gospel, but I'm just going to assume they haven't really thought that through. So I'm going to put agree. My closest friends are from the same race, culture, socioeconomic status.
Auntie Laura watching.
I know. Do I count you? So I would say disagree. I don't know how this is so baiting. All right. It is important for me to learn about race from persons of different cultural backgrounds than mine. Well, they're conflating race and culture to be the same thing.
Racist.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know.
It's important for me to.
I got a meeting to go to. Hurry up.
All right. I'm going to assume they aren't aware that they've conflated race and culture.
That's giving them a lot of
I mean culture in both situations. Okay. I actively listen to and observe culturally diverse perspectives in my workplace or my community. What if I'm
only people in your workspace?
I'm down to this one and this one in my workspace. I hope no one from Wyoming takes this test.
I actively listen to and observe culturally diverse perspectives in my workplace.
I guess. Yeah, I got the two.
Be not of your culture.
Depends on which culture. Which depends on which culture we're talking about. If we're talking about church culture, I don't know. I feel uncomfortable or anxious asking questions of people from different backgrounds for fear of being offensive. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. Although I don't feel that way about asking puppets questions. The thought of working with people from different cultures excites me. Yeah, I do enjoy interacting with people. I'm very curious. Demands for action on racial justice are usually more harmful than helpful for the work of the church. This is a very loaded question.
Demands for action on racial justice are usually more harmful than helpful for the work of the church. Well, that
depends on what demands.
Well, the question is loaded to be either you can do racial justice and it's helpful, or you can't do racial justice and it's harm, or you know what I mean? Like it's a pitted question.
People said it sounds like we're taking a DEI test.
We are. This is exactly what this is. It's what do you call it? It's the one that starts with the I.
Inclusivity.
Demands for action on racial justice are usually more harmful than helpful for the work of the church.
I think
honey, the fact that this test is this complicated in its questions,
so loaded.
It's not going to take me this long. I already got my answer. Go ahead.
I kind of agree with that.
Okay.
When accompanied and sustained by power imbalances, prejudice moves beyond individual relationships to institutional practices. Okay, that could be possible.
When accompanied sustained by power imbalances, prejudice moves beyond individual relationships to institutional power. The problem is who are they talking
exactly
about? But you can go ahead and mark it how you want to mark it. It's a bait and switch anyway.
I think I agree, sort of, depending on how we're defining our terms.
The United States has a history of injustice toward Native Americans and enslaved Americans. And we talk about the history of Native Americans enslaving African Americans.
We're not having that conversation.
The United States got a history. Never mind. But those practices have ended, and this history should not be used to influence current public policies.
So loaded. I mean, there could be a situation where something could influence a public policy.
Honey, this ain't the SAT.
I know.
Answer the question.
Oh no. Racism not only
What did you put?
I put agree.
Okay.
Racism not only creates complex economic disparities and social inequities, it also reinforces inequalities, but it also reinforces them.
Racism not only creates complex economic disparities and social inequalities, it also reinforces them.
I think I disagree with that. I advocate for cultural practices and policies that are consistent with the commandment to love my neighbor. So loaded.
Oh, girl, you got your hair in your face.
Well, assuming we're using God's standards and not social justice standards, I guess I agree with that.
You gonna fail. You gonna get a 1 on this test.
The gospel aims to reconcile not only humanity with God, but estranged tribes, nations, and people groups. No.
Racist.
It is not essential for my church to model good interracial relationships. It is not essential.
Does your church need to model good interracial relationships?
Well, if it's appropriate, I mean, if my church is in Wyoming, there might not be too much ethnic diversity there. I don't know. And it's backwardsly worded. It should be.
I feel like if your church ain't interracial, how is it gonna model good interracial relationships? The question that we should ask is, does every church need to be interethnic?
That's the question that needs to be there.
So yes, it's important that we model good interracial relationships. If you have somebody of a different ethnicity come in, don't call them out their name.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Racial injustice denies a significant segment of our population full participation in society. No, I disagree with that.
Racist.
Racial reconciliation works best when the parties at odds come to the table with humility. There's that table again. We write about that table in our
I wish
book.
Somebody would feed me because I'm hungry.
Come to the table with humility and a willingness to learn. As long as everybody's willing to learn.
I
agree with that. I am committed to pursuing racial justice and reconciliation, even at the cost. No, I'm not committed to racial reconciliation.
The cost of personal sacrifices.
Okay.
We value your opinion. How do you feel about the evangelical church's approach to racial justice and reconciliation? Not hopeful.
Not hopeful.
But this is your test. You answer how you want to answer.
How do you plan to engage with this as a believer? Implement another approach.
Racist. Okay, go ahead. You just got. Girl, you ain't gonna read your response.
Okay. What changes do you think the church should make to better address this issue? Cultivate meaningful conversations, actively take stances reflecting the true heart of Jesus, call out acts of injustice, intentionally pray for reconciliation. No changes, needs a different change. Yeah, we need.
Honey, they need to read your Bible.
Yeah, we need to read the Bible. Okay. All right, I'll fill all this in later. So
no, I gotta take it.
Oh, okay.
So we got to show your results.
All right.
Because I think me and my black puppet, we might have different results. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop sharing so people don't see my email address all over the internet. Okay.
It's info@centerforbiblicalunity.com.
All right.
You be putting your real name?
Oh, should I not do that?
Girl, do you know how many times I be like Monica Valpinski or something? I wish I would put my real name.
All right.
Girl.
All right.
Go ahead, girl. I guess you got to put your thing because I'm going to put your address too when I take my title role. Put oppressor. That's what you should put.
What's my title?
Oppressor. Why do I need to know your title or your role? To see how much power and privilege you possess?
Oh, they wouldn't take that. All right, I got to say what I am.
Say other. That ain't their business.
Oh, this is a lot of options. I can be the AV director.
Put other, girl. I need to go.
That's not an option.
Other was the first option, honey.
Was it?
Look that.
Oh, okay.
Honey, child, sugar plum.
All right, we're going to say, should we say that we're from a particular church?
Sure, why not?
All right.
Okay. Monica, we applaud your desire to learn. You put my name? Now they gonna got two Monica Van Pilskis. Monica, we applaud your desire to learn more about racial justice and reconciliation.
I'm right in the middle.
You are exploring.
I'm exploring.
Let me see what I get. Okay, come on. Here, hold Petty Mo.
All right.
I gotta take this.
All right, I gotta get.
And I cannot be watching that video again. So I'm not up for that.
All right.
This ain't that this year.
This ain't. All right, hold on.
Come on.
I'm doing it. Hold on.
I should have took this on my phone.
I don't know if it's gonna let me do it again.
Girl, they just trying to capture data.
All right, hold on. I gotta share it. All right, here we go. Monica Van Pilski.
That's hey, y'all better watch out. I'd be a whole bunch of things. Yeah, y'all ain't getting my name. Okay, here, let's see. I'm not about to sit here and be debating on whether I answer this correct. I am committed to pursuing racial justice and reconciliation, even at that show last 2020. How do I start again?
Go back.
No, that's just going. No, I can't. I need to start a new test.
Well, I think it has cookies. So it's gonna.
My milk and cookies.
All right, here we go.
Take the assessment. Okay. Building a true and biblical understanding of race is important to me. Race is a social construct. So, but yeah, a biblical understanding of race is important. So teaching people that it's a social construct is important. Race is Race is more a social reality than a definable physical reality. I agree. Racial hierarchy can give privileges to some groups that other groups of people may not have. Yes, when we went to that Black-owned restaurant, there was a hierarchy of privilege that you did not have.
I'm still waiting for my refill.
That's true. I understand the historical injustices of people of color have suffered in America and the effects on their opportunities today. I actually believe that the welfare state has created more injustice to Blacks than a lot of other things did. So I'm going to say I strongly disagree.
That's a point I hadn't thought of. Okay.
The gospel teaches the essential dignity and equality of all humanity before God. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they're wrong. The gospel is something completely different. But you know what? I'm just going to say no, because that's not the gospel. And if you're writing a question that you want me to answer and you're supposed to be the National Association of Evangelicals, you should know what the gospel is. So I'm going to say I strongly disagree. My closest friends are from the same race, culture, and socioeconomic status. I'm going to say neutral. Yeah, slightly disagree. It is important for me to learn about race from persons of different cultural backgrounds than mine.
Man,
see, now here, no. Here it is. So, at what point can you not approach me? Because remember, hashtag Black people ain't Google. Remember 2020?
Yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't be asking people of color to do all my learning for me.
High five, Petty Mo. It is important for me to learn about race from persons of different cultural backgrounds than mine. I'm going to say neutral. I can learn from anybody. I actively listen to and observe culturally diverse perspectives in my workplace and community. Culturally diverse perspective. You the only other person in my workplace, unless we take Petty Mo off her stick. So I agree. Let's see. I actively listen to and observe culturally diverse. I assume so.
Yeah, when we're out on the road, we enjoy talking to people from different cultures.
Yeah. I feel uncomfortable or anxious asking questions of people from different backgrounds for fear of being offensive. I probably should fear being offensive.
I think you should disagree with that one. I thought you said you were taking it fast.
Oh, sorry.
Strongly disagree. All right.
I thought the thought of working with people from different cultures excites me. Depends on what culture it is. Like you from a culture of paganism, not so much. I'm gonna say neutral because you ain't defined what culture you talking about.
That's true.
Demands for action on racial justice are usually more harmful than helpful for the work of the church. I strongly agree with that.
Hold on, I gotta check something.
What?
Make sure they can. Yeah, I got it on. Okay.
Does CFBU have a DEI department? This puppet. She is our Chief Diversity and Equity Officer.
Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
New titles.
When accompanied and sustained by power imbalances, prejudice moves beyond individual relationships to institutional practices. I agree with that. It can.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
For any group of people, though.
Yes.
The United States has a history of injustice toward Native Americans and enslaved Africans, but those practices have ended, and this history should not be used to influence current public policies. I believe I agree with that. I don't necessarily, unless you can offer statistical data that says these people are still impacted by the injustice of Jim Crow and slavery.
Well, like the
I don't know.
welfare state to me is a public policy that I wish was different. That's what I was thinking of.
I don't think that people are going to say that that's an injustice.
Okay.
The United States has a history of injustice toward Native Americans and enslaved
I think
Africans.
it's an injustice.
The welfare system, but then you would have to say that it's not unjust or unjust toward white people. I think the welfare state.
I think it's unjust to poor people.
Yes, but all they're talking about is Native Americans and enslaved Africans. But those practices have ended, and this history should not be used to influence current public policy. I'm going to take a step and say I strongly agree.
Okay.
Racism is not only creates complex economic disparities and social inequalities, it also reinforces them. It can. It doesn't have to always. I mean, think about the Reconstruction era.
Mm-hmm.
And the Great Migration and during Jim Crow and all that, when Blacks were opening up institutions and all that.
But it's assuming that it's happening now, and that's what makes what we call in logic a complex question.
Racism not only creates complex economic disparities, it also, I'm gonna say neutral. It can. It doesn't always have to.
Yeah.
Okay. I advocate for cultural practices and policies that are consistent with the commandment to love my neighbor. I'm going to say neutral because I don't really know your definition of love in this context or what the cultural practices are. You might be thinking that I need to be reading from the Native American Bible as a cultural practice in order to love my neighbor.
Or I need to have a policy of being LGBT affirming as a form of loving my neighbor.
These National Association of Evangelicals.
It lacks definition.
The gospel aims to reconcile not only humanity with God, but estranged tribes, nations, and people groups to one another as well. I'm going to disagree with that one. I know what they probably trying to aim at, but on the flip side of that, that ain't correct.
I'm turned off by the word groups.
It is not essential for my church to model good interracial relationships. I don't actually think so. And here's my reason. I think that Christians should model good relationships.
Yes.
Not good interracial relationships. How do I treat somebody because they are created in the image of God? How do I treat somebody because they are a child of God? Two different, distinctions, two different groups of people. But I do that because they are created in the image of God, not because they Black and not because they white. Someone say strongly disagree. Ooh, they gonna be like, honey, they gonna send somebody for me. Racial injustice denies a significant segment of our population full participation in society. What racial injustice denies a significant segment of our population full participation in society? Y'all done lost your jackrabbit minds. No. Racial reconciliation works best when it is thrown out the window. Sorry. Racial reconciliation works best when the parties at odds come to the table with humility and a willingness to listen. Yes, if that's true of all the parties. I'm going to say neutral. Number 20, I am committed to pursuing racial justice and reconciliation, even at the cost of personal sacrifice. Honey, don't come looking for me for reparations. The devil is a lie. I strongly disagree. Oh, Oh, I thought it came in one. Let me see. How do you feel about the evangelical church's approach toward racial justice and reconciliation? Not hopeful. They a mess.
Not using this way.
How do you plan to engage with this issue as a believer? I'm going to implement a whole nother approach. What changes do you think the church should make to better address this issue? Needs another change. It needs something else not listed here. Y'all need to pray. Y'all need to fast.
Okay, now
First name. Now
hold on. Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
So they don't see.
Well, I was going to use a whole fake name and everything.
I don't want people emailing you there. All right, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. They put the name Simon and Peter as the last name, so that's the name I'm gonna use. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
Simon Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you got?
I know. I see.
Oh,
what's my role?
Yeah, what is your role?
The role I want to give is an acronym, and I can't say that on. I can't say that. What is wrong with your computer?
Oh, you're the outreach pastor. All right.
Honey, I could reach out and touch one of them right now. Can I lay hands?
All right.
Show my results. Oh, I got a 3. I'm exploring. Everybody probably got a 3.
Everybody got 3.
Everybody exploring.
You got a 3.
Ain't nobody committed.
You got a 3.
I'm surprised they ain't tried to sell me nothing. Oh, get guidance. See, it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, we can invite others. Walter's there to help us again. Oh, there's a PDF.
Now you got to share the screen.
All right. Oh, let's. Okay.
I want to know what the resources are that they recommend.
Let's see. Oh, here. All right. Let me share the screen. So we got all the way to the resources. All right.
Yeah. How else can they provide the answer if you are not exploring? I want to know what resources they offer. More results, you're white. I'm just saying. And some of my answers, I'm like, you are clear, honey.
Okay, so they recommend some books.
George Yancey, Beyond Racial Gridlock is not a bad book. I was just looking at that this morning. So, oh, hey, Amy. Yeah, not a bad book.
Let me pull it back up here.
Cultural Identity and the Purposes of God. Wasn't that a book that Lisa Spencer recommended?
Lisa Spencer likes that book. Tim Keller's Generous Justice. How to Heal the Racial Divide by Derwin Gray.
Yeah, that's precious.
That's kind of on the other side of the conversation from us.
Mm-hmm.
One Blood by John Perkins, kind of mixed.
Yeah. Isaac Adams, I just ordered that book and I'm going to dig into
Talking about race.
I'm hoping to talk about that soon.
The Bible Told Them So. I don't know this book by Russell Hawkins. I don't know that book.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Next Evangelicalism by Soon Chan Ra.
He's definitely on the other side of the conversation.
I mean, all the way on the whole other side.
Third Option, not a bad book.
Not a bad book.
It's kind of a little bit shares a lot of perspectives with us, mm-hmm. And yeah, Wide Awake. Oof. Definitely on the other side of the conversation from us.
Other side. That was a book that Biola gave all they
faculty. It's sort of a Christian version of White Fragility.
Yeah,
is how I would characterize it.
White too long. You know,
that's
let the title.
That's on the other side of the conversation. Yeah. Okay, articles. Tim Keller, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah, there's that.
Interesting. A lot of Tim Keller. Frederick Douglass.
Phil Vischer.
Oh, that race video. That was really big in 2020. It was a viral video by Phil Vischer on Race in America.
Bless their hearts.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Abuelita Faith, Developing Cultural Curiosity. I read that book. It's straight liberation theology.
Yeah.
It is straight feminist liberation theology. Robert Chow Romero, Brown Church, again,
Yeah.
heavily influenced by liberation theology. Reading While Black, kind of feel mixed about that.
Yeah.
Kind of on the other side of the conversation from us.
I don't know those two books.
I don't know those other books.
Beverly Daniel Tatum.
Your favorite.
Where is my book?
That used to be your favorite book.
Woo! This, honey,
Is this a secular book?
The fact that they are recommending this book, the whole website need to be thrown in the trash. I'm sorry. Just throw it all away. Throw it all away. This is the book that it just confirms so much for me. Why are all the Black kids sitting together in the cafeteria? Okay, I was trying to see if I should read pieces of it, but it's definitely a critical race theory-esque type of language. This book here.
Here's Kevin's
I
assessment.
might need to.
These resources will
have you messed up, confused, and woke, especially this book.
That's a secular sociology book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fact that you see, this is my problem. Why at all do I need to list a secular book when I have the Bible? I have all I need for life and godliness. Honey, if the Bible can't tell me how to love God and love my neighbor, I have problems. But yet, what do? We list these secular sources. This book is engaging. It is informative. It puts forward what you should do, but it's wrong. And yet, so that we don't look racist, and when I say we, I'm talking about white people, usually. I'm sorry, but usually white people will say, I don't want to be racist. Let me adopt this narrative. Let me go and read this book. Let me bring this framework into my church. Y'all need to, the National Association of Evangelicals, we need to go ahead and what's it say? I think
I got a Hebrew Israelite on here.
Okay.
So
we need to expose. I will say that. Because that, and I'm not even gonna say that their hearts are like intentionally trying to hoodwink and bamboozle, but the hoodwink and bamboozle is there. And so we need to be very aware that even those who may be trying to do something good can lead you down a slippery slope.
So there we go. We took the assessment. We're both curious and exploring when it comes to racial.
That's their assessment, but
maybe everybody gets that score. Maybe you guys can take the test and anyone get a different
score.
Don't
take this test. Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time.
I'm just looking for
Rebecca McLaughlin. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like her. I don't know her, but I think there's some issues there. I'm sorry.
All right. I think we're done. Is there anything else on this list? Justin Gibney. He's on the other side of the conversation.
I think he wants to be balanced, but he's definitely left of center. Be the Bridge from Latasha Morrison. Yeah. That's awesome. You guys should now here. You want to have definitely some fun. Look up Latasha Morrison's 16 Tips for White People.
It's not on their website anymore. You have to go in the Wayback Machine now. I think they removed that whole page. They used to have a whole class on whiteness.
I know.
They've taken that down, but it's still in the Wayback Machine.
Well, you should get it from the Wayback Machine. I should print it. I think I have it printed, but I need to get it.
I have the handout. But
Christina Edmondson and Chad Brennan, Faithful Anti-Racism. Just stop.
Oh, we have a review of that on our website by one of our academic advisory council members, Brenda Salter McNeil. Yeah.
You guys, this
so
literally.
What? Oh, just read
Jamar Tisby.
Rediscipling the white church. So basically, what I want you to come away with is that the National Association of Evangelicals is really only platforming one side of the conversation. That's what you really need to know in all of this, is that, they're not platforming voices like Vodi Bakum or, the Center for Biblical Unity or Joe Miller or, anyone that's on our
Virgil Walker,
Vir-
Kevin Briggins.
Yeah, our side of the conversation. They're not recommending off code. They're not. Can you scoot over?
Oh,
a little
sorry.
bit?
Sorry. Equity.
They're not recommending. They're only recommending resources on one side of the discussion, and that's really what you have to know. And if you go to the Center for Biblical Unity website and look for my blog post, which BIPOC voices should I follow, that will kind of give you a breakdown and explain that there are two models floating around a lot of churches and Christian spaces and ministries. And that's really like the bottom line of the takeaway here, is that when you see content related to race and justice, you want to try to discern, are they platforming both sides of the conversation, or are they only really platforming one side of the conversation? I am glad to see, someone like George Yancey on there,
He takes a more middle ground
approach. There's probably some good things there by some other authors, but the vast majority of it is coming at it from a different point of view.
Kimba says, I bet they're pro-abortion too. I don't know. I would doubt that they would be publicly. Now, what they do behind closed doors is something different, but I do think that this leads directly to an open door to become pro-LGBTQ+, pro-abortion, pro all those things, because the critical social theories flow in like a train that is connected. And so I can't necessarily adopt race and say I'm going to be inclusive and I'm going to stand for justice without standing for a woman's justice or a woman's right to, be all she can be.
But in fairness, I've never seen anything about that on the NAE website. I want to be clear about that. I don't want to commit slander against them.
I don't think that they, like I said, I don't think that they are publicly. I think that this provides a slippery slope, though. I think it also provides a slippery slope to open the doors for LGBTQ+ ideology, because all of these things are connected. I don't think, like I said, it's not on their website, and I wouldn't say that they would do that publicly.
But the way some of the questions are worded, they're so vague that you could read that into it potentially, especially on a couple of them. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this little jaunt through the National Association of Evangelicals Race and Justice Assessment.
Yeah. Are you going to go explore now? Be an explorer. I've
explored quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, so to me, they are pro-abortion. Well, I don't know. I agree with Krista. I don't want to mischaracterize them, but definitely characterize them rightly according to the evidence that we have.
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys, that was fun. Thanks for joining us. See you again.